Hello and welcome to this video. First of all, congratulations. If you made it all the way here, is that you have a genuine interest in discovering this amazing project that we are working on. So thank you for that. I will do my best in the most short and clear and concise way to explain the analysis on the market and the projections for the assets of the Corsair Group, the plastic credit, original CSR, and the CSR25 plastic credit. So let's dive in. How to read and understand the market and the projections. So first of all, we have two different assets here, the CSR and the CSR25. What is the difference is very important for everybody to understand. The original CSR, the first plastic credit, which this is the logo on the blockchain, and the CSR25, which is the new plastic credit for the year 2025. The model will continue with the CSR 26, 27, and so on. So let's bring some clarity. The original CSR, so-called original because it was the first one, it was the prototype created by the Corsair Group to test the concept. What's very important to understand is that there are 5 years of orders to recycle that were placed onto this asset. So there's 5 years of people ordering and waiting to get their original CSR. This trades on latoken.com and Ailbank as exchanges where the public can access, see the price, buy and sell. The supply was pre-created for regulatory reasons back at the time. All of that is explained when we study the tokenomics. But this project is completed in terms of creating new plastic credits. It ended end of 2024. So we know actually that there will be approximately 9.5 billion total plastic credits existing in the world. There will not be any more. That corresponds to 950 million kilograms of plastics that will be recycled by the Corsair Group and their partners. This distribution will end middle of 2026 because of orders placed in December 2024. So middle of 2026, all of the original CSRs will have been distributed to the customers who ordered them. Now, what's different with the CSR25? First of all, it's not the same. It was upgraded, a compliance upgrade with the location and the time of the recycling of the plastic that is contained into the plastic credit. The Philippines in 2024 have passed a regulation asking that plastic credit used in the country corresponds to plastics recycled in the Philippines. So when Corsair realized that, they upgraded their product. And that's also why we have a version that is changing now every year, in case we need to upgrade the product to match with the regulations. So it's not the same asset. Then the CSR25 only corresponds to 1 year of orders placed only in 2025. That's very important when we want to compare them, because we are tempted to compare the market, but they are two different beasts. The first one has 5 years of people ordering and waiting, the other one just 1 year. That's a major difference in terms of market analysis. This trades on Ailbank only, and then the supply is created as the recycling is completed. Every month, new CSR25 are minted because thanks to new regulations, we can do this now. Finally, the distribution of the CSR25 will be completed middle of 2027 for the last orders that will come in December 2025. All right, so that's the difference. First of all, it's not the same product. One is upgraded, has more information, which will match compliance and regulations. And number two, the original CSR has 5 years of people waiting, a big backlog, and the CSR25 just 1 year of customers. So it's very important when we compare CSR26, CSR27 to compare apples with apples, pears with pears. So the original CSR will always remain a different beast, so to say. All right, so let's dive in. Let's understand the price. First of all, what are the general drivers pushing the price up or down on a free market such as this plastic credit? What pushes the price up is when someone buys. So who buys? Number one, companies purchase to become plastic neutral. That's the end goal of the plastic credit. Number two, Corsair buys to pay network commissions, because you might know, or you might discover now, the active partners that are ambassadors, sort of, for the project, when they get paid commissions for bringing customers, we get paid now 20% of our commissions in plastic credits from the market. So the company is also buying back to give to its promoters. Number 3, Corsair has a buyback program, which is an essential piece to understand. And finally, which is the buyback program is 10% of the revenue of Corsair Group. And then finally, traders buy for speculation. When traders understand what is this asset and where it's going, some will buy just to speculate. Now, what pushes the price down? When someone sells. So who sells? Well, the network that has been ordering these plastics to be recycled and have now received the plastic credit once the work is completed. And then traders that have bought for speculation. When it went up, now they sell. These 6 reasons probably cover most of the reasons why somebody would buy or sell those plastic credits. We'll come back to that in a minute. Let's take a look at the price now of the original CSR as of November 2025. What do we see on the market when I look at the past 2 years approximately? Well, very interestingly, we saw a lot of price action in 2023 and 2024. We see 3 big waves, and now we see it going down. Let's understand, because there's actually no cause for alarm when you receive the information I'm going to give you today. So first of all, what pushes the price up? We've seen them already. I'm just going to tell you by size of what I analyze, that's just my opinion, those drivers. Companies purchase to become plastic neutral. That's quite small today. Number 2, Corsair buys to pay network commissions. That's bigger, because we have a big network, a lot of commissions to pay. Even bigger, the buyback program. Even though it's late compared to what was announced last year, because there were delays in completing the factories in Thailand and in Finland, there is still price action. We saw that the Corsair Group bought back 2 times. So let's come back to it. And finally, traders buy for speculation. For me, it's very small today. Very, very small. So mainly, we have point 2 and 3. The buyback program, if we look at it, happened 2 times in 2025. And the second time was quite significant. The price actually doubled in August. It was not enough to compensate the tendency to sell. So that's why this red arrow is bigger. The network sales is probably for me the biggest reason. The network that has been waiting for their plastic credit or waiting to sell their plastic credits for the past 5 years now saw a big price action in 2024. Now they are selling. Maybe to buy again the CSR 2025, maybe they need it for other projects. But in my opinion, the main reason is that people from the network are selling, and that is actually a good thing. Because the promise here of this project is that when you receive your plastic credits, you can sell whenever you want, and you can get money for that whenever you want. So people are selling, they're getting money out of their asset. Is good for them. Too bad they're selling so early in the game, but as we say, weak hands let go first. So the market is being cleaned out. And then traders sell for me is very, very small today, irrelevant. Now, what's very important and you don't see on this graph is that the cheaper price in December 2024, when there were very massive promotions offered by the company, was 0.03, which you can see here on the green bar. So you can see that when you bought in December, the market price was almost 8 times bigger on the market than what you paid for. And now we see people are selling, and the price actually just met, as of creation of this video, the sell price beginning of 2024. So first of all, it's not alarming at all, because most people in volume have bought end of 2024, and now the price is back to the same what they paid for. So when we see this graph, we can say, oh, people are losing money, it's going down so much. Not really, because you need to know what they paid for it. And then the second information we want to remember is that here we have 5 years of customers wanting to sell or needing to sell. So there is right now more sell pressure than buy pressure. So the price is going down, and it might continue to go down until the buyback program and the regulations push the price back up We're going to see that in a moment. So that is the analysis for the original CSR market price, which for me is not alarming at all when you understand these parameters. That the buyback program has been delayed because there were normal delays on building big factories. So the demand took time to appear, and the pressure to sell was quite large because the offer was so good end of 2024. So now there is like the backlash of giving such big promotions end of 2024. Let's now talk about the CSR 2025, a completely different market like we explained it. We see a price much more stable, much higher as well, around 10 cents, up to 13 cents, and down around 8 cents, 0.8 cents. So what is pushing it up? Companies purchase to become plastic neutral. I think that's very slow today because they would rather use the original CSR that is cheaper for now. Corsair buys back to pay network commission. For sure the network is growing, so that's significant. The buyback program that has been actionated 2 times in 2025. And then traders buying for speculation, for me very small again. What is pushing the price down? The network sales, I would say it's not so big, and trader sales is irrelevant. So basically here we have more compensation, more regulation between the offers that the network got and the price point for selling. Of course, we can see some price action here at the end of 2025 because people who ordered it beginning of 2025 saw a very interesting profit margin, so some are tempted to sell now. So we might see the price going down, and that's totally fine. What was the price to buy? Well, all the year the price has been going up every week from about 1 cent to now 5.6 cents. So you see on the actual graph that basically everybody who bought this year so sees the value of their plastic credits much higher. So virtually we can say that everyone who bought this year for now is in positive, in net positive. Thanks to this price ramp up all year 2025, we now know that big promotions at the end of 2025 will not be as costly as it happened for the original CSR, which is a great news. And keep in mind there are much less CSR 25 because this is only 1 year of customers buying compared to 5 for the original CSR. So this market is much smaller. Wonderful. This CSR 2025 will be the representative for CSR 26, CSR 27 because it will be all 1 year projects, like I explained before. Now let's look at the midterm perspectives. When we look at prices of assets, we always want to look at midterm to long term. If you're here for short-term gains, please find another project because that's not what we do. What we do is we look at the future on 3 to 5 years. So let's look at the evolution of these market drivers for the next few years. And for this, let's look at the drivers that push the price up and the one that push the price down. Same ones, the same 6 ones. Let's look at what is about to happen. This is again my opinion, my projections knowing this market. So first of all, companies purchase to become plastic neutral. More and more regulations are coming, they're becoming more strict every year, so of course this demand will grow significantly. However, on the carbon credit market it took 10 to 15 years. So let's say a medium positive pressure. And then after 2030 it should be a strong pressure. But I want to be conservative when I show these numbers and these estimations. Number 2, Corsair buys to pay the network commissions. Well, the network is growing and the momentum is starting very soon. So there is more and more networkers, more and more sales representatives, so the commissions are going to grow significantly. I would say here there is a strong growth of this driver. Now the buyback program, well, that's a beast altogether and I want to take the time to explain to you because this one is a massive driver and should probably be one of the main reasons why you have confidence in the future of these assets. Let's take a look at the perspectives. The buyback program, 10% of the revenue of Corsair Group. Coming from the oil sales of the factories, the Corsair capital, which is the opening on the public market, and other revenues such as the gate fees that Corsair is being paid to take the waste. 10% of all of that goes into the buyback program. So let's look at the predictions. Conservative estimation based on current growth. Let's look at 26, 27, 28, 29. Again, that's not from the company, that's from me as a member of the network, close to the company and understanding the market from my own experience. 2026, the company should have about 30 machines, 30 reactors operational between Finland, Thailand and Sri Lanka. That would generate for the buyback 3 million euros. Plus Corsair capital and other revenues, let's say 3.5 million just for the buyback. 27, let's say we can go up to 50 reactors, which seems absolutely doable. Let's say 6 million euros. 28, 10 million euros, 85 reactors, and then 2029, 15 million euros, 120 reactors worldwide. Probably will be above these numbers. But just to give you my opinion, which again is not financial advice, it's just my reading on the market, in total should be going into the buyback program of the plastic credits 34.5 million euros. And how do we know that is going to affect positively the market? Well, we can simply look at what happened in August 2025 when the company used $100,000, 0.1 million, to buy back, and the price doubled on both markets. So we can only imagine what kind of price action we can see when over the next 4 years or 5 years we have 300 times this buyback happening. And that is why if the price doubles with 0.1 million, we should be excited about what would happen with 34.5 million of buyback. Everyone can decide for themselves if this looks good enough between the risk factors and the price predictions that I'm here to give you from my own opinion in this video. So you would agree with me that the buyback perspective is probably very strong. So that's a big green arrow. And finally, traders for speculation, I would say, because there is a global blockchain adoption today in the world, and because RWA, real world assets projects, are very rare, using blockchain connected to activity on the real world, not just digital, I would see a strong interest on this driver. Especially for crypto investors who are bombarded with so many scams today in the crypto space, that when there is a real blockchain project, they will be very excited. So I predict that we will see more and more traders from the crypto space and investor space speculate on this asset. Now let's look at what pushes the price down. The network sell, I think it will still be strong because we are in a global economy context where people need money quick. The economy is quite unstable. There is a lot of devaluation, there is inflation. So I would think it will continue to be a strong sell pressure, at least for the coming years, until, due to psychological factors, when the 4 green arrows above start to push the price up, people will not want to sell so much because they will see the price going up. So psychologically and emotionally, people will sell less. That's what I think is going to happen. And finally, the confidence keeps increasing in the project when we see the development of the factories, the recognition on international markets, the regulations coming, and so on. So I would say we have a strong to then medium sell pressure in the coming years from the network. And then traders, well, I believe that there will be a speculation becoming midterm to long term on this asset because traders will see the demand growing, the buyback growing, the regulations growing, so they will not want to do short-term profits. They will see it as an asset to hold long-term. So I believe that it will be first medium and then low. So that's just my analysis. Look at these arrows, look at the scales, how they tip. My opinion is that those plastic credits, for all the reasons I explained today, will become a long-term hold asset class which means a type of asset, with a demand backed by the industrial growth of Corsair and increasing regulations. And that's why I'm here on this project, and that's why I'm very confident that if everyone is able to see midterm or long-term, we should be very confident with this project. And again, if you're here for short-term gains and you want to sell every 10 months when you receive plastic credits, probably this is not the project for you. So, thank you very much. I hope this brought clarity and confidence for you to understand more about this asset and the proposition of this business opportunity. Talk to your Corsair Connect Amplivo representative so that you can get more information and take action. Thank you very much.